Yeah, I think the reason why people have such a negative connotation to it is because they don't know what career technical education is. And it used to be that college was the #1 way to go. You needed that college degree. But now in today's economy, we're kind of evaluating the cost of a college education and is it worth getting one? They're making money while in school. They're spending half their day learning education, and then they're spending the other half of the day learning their trade. These students are thinking of things that we've never even thought of before. They're creating things. They're making apps. They're making websites. They're learning things in their biomedicine or transportation field or engineering, and they're really connecting with businessmen for the first time. They're learning how to become professional, and at the end of the day, mom and dad are happy because they know that their child is going to be successful. Career tech is really the future of the working America, and that's why iAm CareerTech was created, to provide a safe and positive place where these students can go online and post and be proud of what they're doing. We're really showing people what innovation looks like and how you can use it. You continue to work hard. This is what can be at your disposal. I was really blessed when I was in high school to have a program that had great technology, and it's kind of my way of giving back. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and it's just such a blessing to see the path where this is going. And it's a long ride, and I absolutely love it.
My name is Matt King. I'm a sophomore here at Ball State, and we're going to talk a little bit today about career technical education, but not in the sense of how we think of it, but kind of where we're going with it. Kind of my background, I started in the entertainment business and got to work with a lot of cool clients. Did some work with MTV, Comedy Central, Ellen DeGeneres, and so I was always brought up thinking entertainment and what looked cool, and if it didn't look cool, then let's not do it. And I didn't care if it was right or wrong. I just cared how it looked at the end. And kind of a weird way to think, right? And I got a phone call last summer from the Ohio Department of Education, and they said, Matt, we want you to change the mindset of career tech education, just in Ohio. And I said, well, what do you think it is? And they said, well, everyone knows that it's always been Sally got pregnant in high school and went somewhere to the school to learn how to become a secretary. I'm like, wow, that's a really bold statement. And they said, yeah, but it's what people think. And I said, well, let's change that because clearly that's not the case. And so over the summer, I had the opportunity to travel all across the state of Ohio, and we had a film schedule. It was a 2-month-long film schedule, which is insane. That's how long a feature film Spider-Man, Transformers, they're on a 2-month film schedule. So this was nuts. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a huge budget we're working with. Let's move forward. Let's make this happen. And so we would go into these schools, and they had everything lined up on the production level. So we would go in, and we would meet with the kid, which is an entertainment nightmare for me because I didn't know the kid. I didn't know what the program was. I didn't know what the school looked like. And so we just come in with, about $500,000 worth of equipment, trying to make this look as cool as possible, and we had no idea what to do. So we go in, and we're meeting these students, and we're learning about education. And the first thing I ask them is, okay, you want to learn how to become a web developer, or you want to learn how to be an auto mechanic. What do you do currently? Because you got to keep in mind, a lot of these kids don't go to college. They're going and they're getting, so they spend half their day at their local high school, then they spend their other half of the day, they get bused over to this career center and they're learning a specific skill. And I said, okay, so are you applying that? Because in college, we learn to apply it in college. But imagine applying that at 16, 17 years old. So I asked them, I said, okay, tell me where you work. And it was fast food across the board, and some people worked at various locations. So let's just assume $7.95 per hour, 20 hours a week. You're making $159 a week, 4 weeks per month, $636 a month. This is for a summer job. You're probably making about $2,000 a summer, not including tax. And so for me, I was like, are you happy with that? Is this what you want to do? Because if you're studying to be an accountant or you want to do IT or engineering, how can we make you become successful? And I speak all across the country and I talk to kids about this, and I always ask them, how many of you have heard of the Better Business Bureau, a Rotary Club, a Giving Circle, a Chamber of Commerce? Because you got to think in a 16-year-old mindset where you're not going to colleges and doing tours. You need to get hired as soon as you're out of high school. 4 kids in a room of 4,000 students raised their hand, and they knew what any of those were. And so I tell this story of one of my favorite stories of a kid who went through the CareerTech program. And he wanted to be an accountant. He wanted to work in an accounting firm. And I said, okay, well, let's hook you up with your Chamber of Commerce. He worked at McDonald's at the time, making that much. The person sitting next to him at the Chamber of Commerce was the VP of the regional bank in his area. His name's Gannon. And at the end, he was just talking with them, getting to know him. And by the end of the conversation, the VP of the bank offered him a job for $11 an hour. So let's put this into play. So we just talked about these different things. The other thing that we do is I really urge students to meet with the CEO every week, have lunch with them. And they're like, Matt, I can't do that. It's a CEO. You would be shocked how many people we call up and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Because they're flattered, number one. You know, CEOs have very egocentrical mindsets and they worked hard to build a company. So if someone comes to them, especially at a young age, and they're really admired by it, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. What happened with Gannon was he ended up making $11 an hour. So because he went to a 45-minute Rotary Club meeting, he made a 39% gain for the whole summer. 45 minutes. Because he was doing what he loved and he let people know about it. So the question is, don't think differently, do differently. And this goes back to the abstract way that you were just talking about. It's so simple. I mean, it's so simple, and we just got to apply it. So along this journey, we were filming all these students, and I thought to myself, okay, this just doesn't end with a series of commercials at the end that will go on PBS or wherever we go. This is a network of students. And you think Ball State spends a lot of time when you graduate with the Alumni Center, and they give you phone calls, and you get this network going. But you don't have that if you graduate from high school. So that's iAm CareerTech. What this is this is the first ever social network for career technical education. So students log on. We started this 5 months ago, people, and we're in over 71 schools. People are jumping on board with this. So how this works is if I'm in Cincinnati and I'm an auto mechanic and I really am not working on this brake job or something screwed up and I don't know what to do, I can call or I can go on this site and meet with other auto mechanics who live in Nashville or live in California or live in Panama City Beach. And we can talk to one another for the first time and we can network with this. The other thing is this is a professional resume. Kind of like LinkedIn. So when these students, they use this in the classroom too. This is endorsed by schools. So imagine having a Facebook or a Twitter, and so they get their custom profile, they can upload their resumes, they can share their stories. We have different career tech categories. So you can go online on our website and you can see whether it's education or you can see entrepreneurship, and you can click these different categories and all these kids pop up who are in that same field and you can connect. But think of it from a business standpoint. You own a window washing company in Colorado and you want to give out a $1,000 scholarship to a student, but you don't want it to be an essay because you want it to be a video. You want to promote your company. So you go on this website. We access our database. We link you with all the video producers in high school in your area in Colorado and send them and micro-target them your application. It's brilliant. So here's the map of Ohio. This is really, really outdated, but we're all over Ohio now. And it's just very interesting to think where this is going to go because a lot of people don't like career technical education. They don't think it's hip, they don't think it's cool, but more importantly, parents are concerned because you're not going to make money doing it, is what we're told. I go back to another story. We were in Cleveland, Ohio, doing a film shoot, and there was this kid who we were hired to film, but then there was this other kid in the corner, and he was working on a really cool project. And I go over, and they're like, no, you're not supposed to film him, Matt. Like, the film schedule says this. I'm like, hold on, I really like what this kid's working on. And I start talking to him, and he works for a factory called Ferguson, and they make elevators and shafts and different hydraulics. And I was talking to him, and I said, you work at this job? He's like, yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, like, are you getting paid well? And he said, yeah, I'm getting paid $40,000 a summer. I was like, what? $40,000 a summer? He's like, yeah. And then they gave me a $10,000 bonus at the end because I was doing really, really good work. And I'm like, how in the world are you making $50,000 a summer? Well, you got to keep in mind these are skill sets, so they take a long time to train someone. This whole system and the training process costs $250,000 to train someone on these machines. So now he's a valuable player of the team, 17-year-old kid in high school. And I'm like, man, that's pretty impressive. Well, get this. Ferguson, the factory, wants to keep him going, keep him on, because if they lose him, they got to spend another $250,000 training someone for this machine. True story. They meet with him. The manager pulls him in. They said, look, we really like what you're doing. We want you to sign a contract right here today, and we'll pay for your entire college. Done. You just have to sign a contract with us. When you graduate, the next 3 years, you'll come back and work for us. Also, while you're in school, in the summertime, you come back and work for us. How many of you would take that deal? I mean, and this is something that goes on all the time, but we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to talk about it because it's not sexy, it's dirty. How many of you have seen Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe? Remember that show? Mike Rowe is now, to this day, like the king of career tech education. He goes all around the country. He started his own foundation out of it because he saw the importance of it. Mike Rowe got his start. He didn't graduate from college. He was in acting, and he thought it would be cool. Well, he originally worked for QVC. And QVC, the way they always did, when they hired people, they went to Juilliard, and they went to University of Southern California, and these really big theater and acting schools, and they would hire their anchors and their television hosts and their salespeople. Well, QVC took a big dive, and they're like, why aren't these people selling their products? Because they didn't know it, they didn't understand it, they were classically trained, it didn't make sense. So QVC made this huge, different way of mind, and they put a Craigslist ad out. And they said, we're going to have casting locations, kind of like American Idol, where you just come up, give us your resume in 5 minutes, and then you go and present. And Mike Rowe comes in, they sit down, and the producers hated this because they were dealing with regular people. And they're like, I hate this, like, I get paid, $1 million a year to do this, and I'm dealing with Joe Schmo walking in here. And Mike Rowe comes walking in, and they give him a Ticonderoga No. 2 pencil and said, you have 8 minutes to sell this, and if you say one stutter, you're gone, you're out. And it worked, and look what he's doing now. And so these are your resume builders, and more importantly, these are your job applications now. Your job applications are not printed off. It's like what Mike Rowe does. They're going to call you in. They're going to see if you're qualified to do it. And they don't care if you worked your way up like a newspaper here with the Daily News. Your freshman year, we're going to start you out as an assistant editor, and then maybe by the time you graduate, you may be editor-in-chief. We don't care about that. If you're doing your job and if you love it, we're going to make you successful. So why does this apply to you? Basically, hopefully I change your outlook on career technical education and you see where we're going today. America used to be a manufacturing company. Now we're more of a goods and services, and we're kind of making that circle back now because college is getting expensive and people are reevaluating the cost. Before it was if you didn't want to go to college, you looked into going to the military. And now we have this other option. So when you guys start families and raise your kids, you may want to have that conversation. The other thing, too, is it's not just black and white. It's not just you're going to college or you're going to career technical education. It's really nice in high school to have that certificate in a professional field, whether you want it or not. If I can have a certification in a course, why not? Let's do it, because then I can take that and do it with something else. So thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it, and have a good day.